Hi Vandana. Hi Mansi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes.
Mansi, are you there?
It's fine.
Mm.
Hi.
And we can hear you as well. Good. Good. Okay.
So, Sonal, I was just thinking means for each of the content, maybe you can continue to share your screen, and for demo, you can just give it to us. We can switch you from there.
Sure, sure. Definitely. We'll do that way. If you guys are ready and have a cheesy smile, then I'll probably take some screenshots. And feel free to have a screenshot being taken by you. Okay, I'll this time I'll gonna say when I'm taking. Okay, so all right, okay, I'm pretty bad with it. Okay, one, two, three. Um, we'll wait for a few minutes and then probably we'll start. Um, all right. Meanwhile, I'll do one thing as well. So we have Shane, we have Vanna, and yes, hi. If I'm saying it right, it's Shani or Shane? Shane. Hi, Vandana. All right, so I'll probably start the deck that we have for today. Um, and meanwhile, people will join. We'll give them another couple of minutes and then we'll join it. We'll start at 4:35. Meanwhile, I'll just share the screen. Cool. Hey, hi, Priya. Cool. All right. People start joining. Hi, Madhva. Hi, Aarti. Nice to see you here again. Hi, Rohan. Hi, Akshay. All right, guys. Thank you for joining Women Who Mule Back and welcome. Today we are excited because you might have seen we are celebrating Mac's birthday and we have amazing two speaker. Uh, so just just to let everyone know that this is Women Who Mule APEC Forum. We have other Women Who Mule forums as well in other region, but this we have dedicated mainly for APEC region. Um, and we'll start now. So this is today's agenda. We will have introductions and then we'll jump to the direct to two topics, any point code builder and graph QL by Mansi Singh. So before we jump to the speaker, we will talk about or we'll celebrate Mac's birthday virtually, whatever we can, right? Um, Um, but as you know, I always think this is a forum for you guys. So please feel free to introduce yourself into the chat from where you are joining, which city you are joining, and how's the weather over there. Um, and I can tell you, I'm joining from Melbourne. And if you would have asked me 10 minutes back, I would have said sunny, but now I would say very cloudy, you know. So you can imagine Melbourne weather showing its colors. Yeah, so if everyone else as well um, can introduce yourself in chat, we would love to know about you. We would love to involve you in our forum in one way or the other, which I'll talk in the last slide. But yeah, love to hear from you guys. Oh, Wanda, you're from Goa. Wow, really? Yeah, I assume so. But nice city to be in, and especially if you're working from home. Sure. And I think we have Mansi joining from Mumbai, and we have Vandana joining from Bangalore, if I'm right, right? Yeah, yeah. Hi, actually, I'm from Delhi as well, actually. Oh, it's sunny there. Ah, jealous. All right, guys, please keep on sharing about you. As I said, we would love to know about you. Um, so, so I'll jump. Meanwhile, everyone can type their intro. So, as probably you must be wondering who is this person who is speaking in this form. So, my name is Sonal Sharma. I'm a MuleSoft meetup leader almost now for 5 years. I started with Mule long back when Mule was baby. It wasn't 10 years. It was very very um, toddler, I would say, not or baby. When we have very limited functionality, but the way it has evolved over a time is amazing, right? So I'm passionate about MuleSoft. I help clients. And I'm a big advocate at the client side for the MuleSoft as an integration platform. I work as associate director, Gemini, as I said, based in Melbourne. So we have another MuleSoft leader who is unfortunately couldn't able to join due to the personal unseen circumstances. Her name is Rajeshwari. She is in Accenture and she's based off India. She's also very passionate about women who mule, and we are running like this in-person event as well, which we did in Bangalore last time. People who must be from Bangalore, they would have known this thing. Yeah. So I'm one of the co-founder of the Women Who Mule APAC, and so far going good. But I want to give this opportunity or extend the invite to you guys as well. If you would like to be a part of this forum, if you want to participate in a broader way, please let me know. We'll love to have you as a meetup leaders as well, and you can also organize the topics that you're passionate about. And this Women Who Mule APAC is not only dedicated to technical expertise, but we welcome the people from all background who is working in IT and who can share their experience and inspire others. Non-technical topics as well, probably who have joined us from a long time, they know we have gone through a long journey where we have talked about women who are in leadership roles, how we can handle or manage personal life and professional lives, how we can do. So we have covered various topics, and definitely we love to have tech topic as well. If you are excited about it, then we are excited as well. So yeah. So please feel free. If you, as I said, this forum is your forum. I'm just a facilitator. If you want to be part of this forum in any form, let me know. We will love to have you. So I'll probably jump to the next thing, which is one of the reason that we are here, is global MuleSoft community, right? This MuleSoft community I found very interesting, very dynamic, very passionate, and very helpful. So as you can see, the global MuleSoft community, we have in 30 plus countries, and there are various programs in this community. The one that I was talking to you before was MuleSoft Meetup. You can be part of the MuleSoft Meetup leadership. And then another one is MuleSoft Mentor and MuleSoft Ambassador. I'm MuleSoft Ambassador as well, and we have another ambassador join us as well. Um, Aarti, I'll probably give him some. I will enable the presenter mode as well for her. She has joined, and I'll see if other ambassador can join as well. But what I'm trying to say, in MuleSoft community, there are the various forum which are open to you guys. So feel free if you want to know a bit more about it, what that program means, how you can be part of that, how you can be on the path of the MuleSoft ambassador or MuleSoft mentor. We are going to have another separate event to talk about MuleSoft ambassador and introduce you to MuleSoft ambassador and how they get to that journey. So I uh, want to just take a pause, and I'll probably see if my skills are good to do various things to multiple things together. But I want to give a first shout out to four Mules of ambassadors that we have. Aarti, and who is from Melbourne only. Jyoti from India, she couldn't able to join us. Mitali and Priyasha. Um, so yeah, Uh, cool. So, guys, I'll just take a minute and I'll see if I can do the presenter mode. If Arthi, you are still there, can you request the presenter mode? Okay.
Amazing. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Arthi. Yes, we can. And
Amazing.
I'll request if Priya, I know one. Jyoti couldn't able to make it, but if Priya or Mithali is on the call as well, if you can request for a presenter mode, then I'm happy to give you. Yes, Aarti, sorry, over to you. I just want to congratulate you first for being a MuleSoft ambassador. And then, yeah, do you want to share any words on the MuleSoft community?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thank you, Sonal, for that. Yeah, so I'm very new to Melbourne. I just came here like a year back, a year or few months. And I think major activity I did in the community once I came here. So I came here, I had time. So I did some certification, but parallel to that, I was also mentoring few people, and that's how I was having this tag, MuleSoft mentor tag. And while mentoring, I was also going through the process of being ambassador, and that I believe has given me a lot of confidence now. To present in the forums, to talk about MuleSoft more. So yeah, I think that has given me more confidence. And now I'm also officially announced as a MuleSoft meetup leader for Melbourne. So I'm gonna organize my first event in Melbourne on 15th of August. So now hopefully we'll catch up there. So
Sure. Yeah,
I'm very
yeah.
excited for that first meetup. So the journey has been beautiful so far. A lot of learning, of course.
That's good to know. Thanks, Aarti.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks for taking the time out. Yeah, and this is a community where we support each other and we encourage each other to achieve more.
100%
Thanks.
pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Thanks, Aarti. All right. So I'll jump to the. I don't think so. We're Priya Mithali, but as I said, I'm gonna organize a separate event to talk bit more about how we can do this journey. If you guys are interested, or if people are interested, how they can join and do the things much better, or how they can start this journey and be into this path. And now, yay, Max Purdy. So yes, I would love to see birthday wishes from you to Max. What the birthday wishes you want to give to Max on his birthday? Sorry, I don't have a cake, but um, I hope we can still wish you, Max, a happy birthday. And guys, if you guys are comfortable, then at the end I'll gonna open the presenter mode for everyone so that we all can come on the screen. And I'll probably, if you guys will be comfortable, I'll take the screen for everyone. So, yes, I would love to see you guys wishes for Max. My wish for Max would be I hope he has grow more in AI space. So that would be my wish, like.
I would wish Max a more and more success in all the areas so that we'll get good bread and butter like we are getting right now.
Very, very good, Aarti. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So my wish to Max would be to not grow up soon, take his time, get molded and grow in a very right way. And yeah, I had done a Max painting in a Desi avatar for Bangalore meetup. Maybe at the end I'll just get that for the photo.
Oh wow, that would be good. And guys, if you have any of the what you say, the swag from the MuleSoft, if you want to do a bit of flaunting of it, I don't mind. Just bring it along. I also kept it. I'm not gonna show you guys now, but at the end I'll show you. I've kept it my what you say, swag, MuleSoft swag, to have it in picture as well, right? So yeah. I would love to hear from you guys as well. Um, Priya, Madhva, hi Madhva, Akshis, Priya, hi Rakesh, hi Harsha. I would love to feel free to put it into the chat, what your wish would be, or when at the end we'll do present remote for everyone, you can do it at that time as well. Cool. All right. So, as I said, I'm very excited about our two speaker, and I'm like waiting for the demo. I will be learning a lot. I'm very excited and ready to learn. So hopefully there are many people in this call who is like uh, ready and gear up and just waiting for our speakers to come. So with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker of the day. She's a senior software developer at Welltech, and everyone knows she is a MuleSoft mentor and MuleSoft meetup leader for Bangalore as well, and she has MuleSoft certification and Salesforce certified as well. Oh, very, very good, Vanna. I'm sure I wouldn't have covered everything. You have more in your bucket. We would love to hear from you. And so, Vanna's today's topic is Anypoint Code Builder. Um, so, over to you, Vandana.
Thanks, Sonal, for the amazing introduction. So, any point code builder, I think that's the latest term we are hearing all around, right? So, probably 2 months back, even I was not much aware of what that is until and unless I attended one of the meetups, which was again co hosted with women whom you'll attack at Bangalore. So, I thought, why not? There are probably other women out who are still not knowing much about any point code builder, and this is probably the right forum where I can just give them a push so that they can go and explore any point code builder and then the features of ACB. Along with that, I'll also be telling about the key highlights that were presented during the June 2024 release and just a small demo of ACB, just the look and feel, like how the ACB is and what all we can explore with that. Next slide. Okay. So ACB was first introduced in quarter 3 of 2023. As I said, it's a old topic, but not many would have explored it. But why now? Because we know ACB will be the future of MuleSoft integrations. Like
Studio, we have Anypoint Studio that is built on based out of Eclipse, but we all know that it is very heavy, and we have lagging issues, and it's not that easy to use compared to the new feature of ACB, which is lightweight, which is built on Microsoft Visual Code, and it is easy to install. And not just that, with ACB, we can have Postman or any other applications like Git, everything at one place. Since the Visual Studio Code allows us the integration of various applications together, ACB would be the future of MuleSoft APIs, and definitely it would replace Anypoint Studio in near time. And so it's important to learn what ACB is. So next slide. Let's learn what are the features of ACB app. Okay. So Anypoint Code Builder comes with cloud native development environment. So it comes up with two versions. One is you can directly launch it from your Anypoint platform as a cloud IDE, or you can download and use it as a desktop IDE. So whether it is cloud or a desktop, it is integrated with our Anypoint platform. So we can access it from anywhere. So that is one of the key features. Then advanced debugging and testing. So as we know in Studio, we have something called debugger where we can add breakpoints and do the testing. Similar thing, we can do it even on the ACB, which allows real point debugging and testing. And not just that, we can also have it integrated with the functional testing frameworks, which will help us further do advanced levels of testing. Then the API management and governance. So since it is integrated to Anypoint platform, we all know that accessing and managing would be easier. Not just that, it also have inbuilt frameworks which will keep on governing our API standards, the quality, to ensure that we are delivering consistently good quality of APIs. Then collaboration and version control. I think this is the major part why we are switching over to ACP. So we all know that if we have to share some jar file to some other team member so that they can take it up from there, work it from there, the only way we have now is either push it to our version controls, or we have to export the jar manually and then share it via chat or email or drive or something like that, which is like a heavy weight jar, and then it's a tedious process. But I think Anypoint Code Builder, it comes up with that solution where we can share our workspace. Since it is cloud based, it is easily manageable. We can share our workspace, and then also it comes up with integrated Git, which enables us in a better version control as well. So this is the very key feature why people are starting to look towards ACB. Then monitoring and analytics. Yeah, obviously, as I said again, we are having Anypoint platform integrated. We also have Anypoint monitoring integrated to it, which will help us with monitoring the APIs. And analytics is we can use ACB to even build our custom dashboards. And AI and automation, yeah, everybody knows, right? Einstein is coming up. Einstein bot. So we will have Einstein for Anypoint Code Builder in the future, which will help us deliver more efficiently. And yeah, I mean, Einstein would be the future. Next slide. So we can call ACB as a develop with pro code and low code tooling, because like how we do drag and drop in our studio, here we can just click in the canvas and add a component. And not just that, along with this graphical user interface, we have the XML view as well, where we can directly give our XML codes and it automatically generates the GUI format as well. Like it happens in the studio, right? If we put something in the XML generator, you can see that in your connector flow as well. So similar to that, even ACB allows us adding it into either coding it with XML view or just with a click in the canvas. Next slide. So the next thing which will come up in future is the prompts. So you can describe your use case and give it to Einstein, and he will generate the flows for you, which are more efficient, and it is time saving. Probably in the future, where we take 2 to 3 days to develop some code, can be developed within 30 minutes with the help of Einstein. So that's what the future is. Next slide. Yeah, coming to the key highlights of June 2024 release, they have launched something called Async API, which is still in the beta version. So to enable this, you will have to accept few conditions on the ACB launcher, and then you can start using it. So as of now, they have provided access for Anypoint MQ and Apache Kafka connectors, so which supports API, Async API, or event-driven architecture mechanisms. Then we have something called data wave expression builder. Probably this is one of the feature which everybody were exploring and everybody wanted it to be there. So we can now go and preview the data wave expressions on the ACB itself. Like initially, if we wanted to do something like test the data wave or something, we had to go to any data wave playground, then give the sample input, sample output, give your code and test it. Now that is possible on ACB. Then component configuration enhancements. So we have new configurations being launched, and also in the UI you can see now we have input output tabs being added for each connector, which will show you the data types or everything related to the input and output for that particular connector. So along with that, then the support for multiple Mule runtime versions. So now ACB supports for 4.4, 4.6, and 4.7 runtime versions, along with our Java 11 or Java 17 versions as well. Then custom Java classes and code. So they have added more libraries to the ACB so that it helps in customizing your Java classes better. And then munit support. So munit as of now has a limited support where we can just run the existing test cases or probably modify them a bit, but you cannot go and still create them on ACB like how we do it on the studio, probably where we can just um, record the munits. That kind of feature is still not available on the ACB. Probably in the next releases it will be available. As of now, we can run the munit test cases which we have already deployed, or probably modify them or create small manual test cases, but not record the munit. So it's limited support till now. Then API governance for REST APIs. Yes. So as I said, it is integrated with Anypoint platform. So this governance, it helps us with more security standards that have been improved with the June 2024 release. Yeah, next slide. I think probably without wasting much time, let's start with the demo. Let me share my screen. Sonal, I think you need to stop sharing so that I can share.
Vandana, you are on mute.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah. So, as I said, I'm not going to go much deeper into ACB with any use case or something, but this is just a look and feel like how we can get started with ACB. Okay. So, as soon as you log into your Anypoint platform, you can see something called Code Builder here, right? So, this is where you can go to your ACB launch. Okay, just a minute. This is where you can go to your Code Builder launch page. So since this is not the first time, it's not showing me any conditions that I need to accept. But if it is your first time, it will ask for you to accept few conditions, post which your launch gets enabled. So here you can see one, it is Cloud IDE version, and one is your desktop version. So Cloud IDE, you don't have any prerequisites. You can just click on launch and it will launch the IDE for you. But for your desktop version, there are three prerequisites. The first thing being you should have your Visual Code installed into your machine. Then you should have your Git being installed. And finally, you should have an Anypoint platform account. So once you have those three, then you can install that on your machine. And yeah, since this is not the first time I'm launching my Cloud IDE, it got generated very quickly. It got spanned up in just 1 or 2 minutes, probably. But if you're doing it for the very first time, it takes generally around 5 to 10 minutes to set up the entire workspace for you. So, this is the Cloud IDE, and I'll also show you the desktop ID. This is my desktop ID. So you can either use this or use your Cloud ID. So as soon as log into your ACB, there is one thing that you need to always do. Check for the mule extensions, uh, the extensions. So there are around 8 extensions which you will install while installing your desktop IDE. So make sure they're all up to date so that you don't miss out on any latest features that are being released. And the second thing would be logging into your Anypoint platform. So here you can see it shows that I'm still not logged in, right? So when I click on that, it asks you a prompt whether you want to sign into your Endpoint platform, and then just goes to your uh, browser, then checks for your credentials, and you can see now. I can see now I'm logged into my Anypoint platform.
Sorry, Vanna, somehow
Hmm?
the screen, I think so it was stuck for me. Is it the same for you as well, Mansi?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think I was just sharing the window, not the entire screen.
entire screen. Yeah.
Yeah, let me share the entire screen. Okay, so now is it visible?
Yes, yes, yes. So this is the desktop version that you were talking about, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
this is the desktop version. So if
Yes.
you go here, you can see that there are 8 extension packs that we have to install as part of our desktop version. So we need to make sure that they are up to date so that you will not miss out any latest features during any releases of ACB. And this is where I was speaking about whether to log into your Anypoint platform. So I'll just log out and show it to you again. So now you can see it says not logged into Anypoint platform.
Yeah.
So when you click on that, it asks you, just goes to your browser, checks for your Anypoint platform. Since I have already logged into this account, it did not ask me for credentials again. Suppose if you have not logged in on the browser, you'll have to enter your credentials, and then you can see that you'll get logged in. So here you can see now I'm logged into my account, and if you come here, you can see the options. It shows design an API, implement an API, or develop an integration. So design an API is similar to what you do in your design center. You can just give some project. I'll just give my first ACV and create a specification. It takes some time. You can see that it is creating the specification. So this is similar, exactly similar to your design center on your AnyPoint platform when it comes to design. So this asks you every time whether you want to trust the author. So click on yes, and you can see now my RAML file is created. The root RAML file is created. And if you go to Explorer, you can see all the files that are there. I had previously opened one more RAML that you can see here. Then this is the one which I created now. And if you want to follow a folder structure, you can click on right click, then create a file probably called examples, similar to whatever you do it on RAML. So you can do this and as well publish to Exchange from here. Okay, so due to time constraints, I have prepared one RAML which is already there. Let me just open that. Just a minute. Or let me just show it to you from the AnyPoint platform. So, so this was my first RAML which I have published. And how did I publish it was, you have something called command palette here. And whatever you have to do, either publishing or scaffolding RAML, everything you can just give your commands and you're done. So if I just go, whenever you need to search for any MuleSoft prompts, all you have to do is give this colon, then type MuleSoft. So you can see all the actions, all the prompts that are available here. So there is something called publish to exchange, publish an API specification to exchange. I'll just directly try publishing this. So now it asks for the business group. We know that we have business groups in our AnyPoint platform, right? So it is asking me for the business group that I need to publish this API to. Then I'll click on Voltec. That is the one which I have saved. So it asks me for the project name. I'll just leave this one as my first ACB one. Then it asks for the artifact ID. You can give the same name, then the version. So if you remember in the design center as well, when you click on publish to exchange, you get a panel where it asks for your asset ID, the version, everything, right? So it is similar to that. Then it asks for API version. And finally, you can see it is publishing my specification to exchange. So here I have not written anything, but yeah, I can still go ahead and try publishing one. Just wanted to show you all how we can publish. So this is with respect to design part. So coming to implementation, so what I have done here is I have scaffolded the API which I had published to Exchange. So how did I scaffold? Similarly here, when I type on MuleSoft, you can see that we have something called import API specification from Design Center. So we can use that and our RAML gets scaffolded. So if you see the implementation part, here we have all the flows that are defined. And when we scaffold, these are the flows we get, right? The main flow, then the console flow, and then the endpoints flow. So you can see we have a listener added, and when I click on listener, you can see the path. This is just like what we have it on the studio, right? We have the path, and in advanced, we can specify the methods, this is exactly similar to what we have in our studio. And this is what the input output console that I was saying. We can see everything here. And also not just that. Now, if you see, I have a error handler also that has been imported. So that is how it happens, right? Whenever we scaffold it, even on studio, we get the main flows, then we have the error handler, everything. So since here we are selecting it flow wise, you will, whenever you see a error handler, it is the error handler for that particular flow. And now I'll just try adding a component. So you can search here or you can click on the processes and then search whichever you want. So I want to just add a logger. I'll just search for logger here. So you can see we have a logger. Yeah. So now here we can type the message as it is, or if you want, you can enable the FX mode. I'll just push this window a bit this side. So I told you about the data wave previewer, right? Now, if I just give 2 plus 3, and if I see in the preview, it is already in expression mode, I can just give 2 plus 3. And I think that is equal to was not removed. Yeah. Let me just close it and open. I think it is taking some time. Let me do one thing. Let me just delete this logger and add it again. So if you want to delete a component from your flow, just right click on that and delete it. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Here it got logged out from my anypoint platform. That's why it's not allowing me to change anything. So come back, then sign in first. So that, as I said, right, this is the first step. You will have to first see your signed into your anypoint platform account. Otherwise, it will not let you do anything. Yeah. So now, okay, now I am signed in. Now let me add my logger again. I'll just give now 2 plus 3. Why is it still taking is equal to? Okay, I think, yeah. Second. Effects, right? Yeah, now it is giving. So you can see, right? Now it is giving an output of 5. So you can even put this in a string and then add one more string, probably something like this. Not sure what's this. Okay. Okay, so that is how you can check your data weaves. And other than that, if you have to switch between flows, so you can change it here, then you will be taken back to that flow. Or if you want to add a new flow, then you can select add, click on add. It will ask you for a flow or a subflow. Then you will get an empty canvas generated. You can just rename that and utilize it. And also, one more thing what I wanted to show you was the global configuration. Now we have a listener, right? So what is the there should be a global configuration that is configured. Since this was scaffolded, you have got it automatically. And whenever a global configuration is added, you can see test connection, like how we used to do it in our studio, right? So we can test our connections here. So that's also possible. But if you have to manually, if you have to add, suppose a requester, then you will have to add a global configuration manually in the XML. It is not auto generated. And again, so if you just do this, you will have the prompts shown here. I can just click on a requester config and my requester config will be created here. So similarly, whichever connector you want to use, you can create a global configuration using the XML one.
Hey, Vanna. Sorry, we have a question about the connector only. Asked by Akshay Goyal. In studio, we can get few connector
Mhm.
and from Exchange, which are not part of the Mule palette. Do we have all connector available on ACP, like Snowflake and Cloud Hub notification?
So ACB as of now has limited connectors access. Probably in the actual go live release, which will happen in October 2024, we can have other connectors being included as part of that as well. So as of now, if you see, if I click on add, yeah. So if I click on add, right, you have this search and exchange option. So whatever the connectors that are available, you can still go ahead and use them. But I feel this is not the full-fledged version. There are some limitations. You can explore on that more. But if you search for probably Snowflake, not sure if we will get it. Okay, yeah, I think we have Snowflake. But how latest they are and how we can use them in full-fledged versions, I think that would be better if we do it after the once the go live is done. So yeah, you
Sure.
can
Yeah.
still import it from Exchange if it is available.
Yeah. And now there is a question from Sipra Nayak. We are designing the RAML directly in ACB, so we don't require design API specific API section which we use in any point platform currently. How can we maintain the different
So
version of RAML in this
yes.
scenario?
So why we have this designing API specification in ACB is again for the team collaboration. Suppose there is a team member who is working on design center. I mean, in the AnyPoint platform, if you use design center, you might have observed like two people cannot edit it at same time, right? It shows that there is this user who is editing this API specification, but with the help of ACB, what we can do is we can code it or design it in our ACB and then push it to our design center or exchange. So in that way, multiple people can work on the same API specification at a time. And while pushing, it will make that version control have the latest one on your design center. That's
Okay.
the purpose of putting it into ACB.
Yeah, sure. And Vandana, just I'm mindful of the time, so I'll just
Yeah.
take this last question as well,
Okay.
which is about how we can add property environment specific, like we do in Studio, and how we perform secure property value mechanism in ACB. So basically, more about how we add property environment specific.
So, as per what I have explored till now, I think that feature is still not available where you can add the properties, but I'm not sure because even I have just started exploring ACB, so even I'm not sure on how can that be done. But encryption, I think we can add the secure properties connector and go ahead with our encryption.
All right. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Yeah. So that's very insightful, Vanna. As we all know that we all are learning ACB, and still, I guess next time, Cipra, you I hope whatever Vanna has answered your question. If not, then yeah, yeah, I think so. She's fine. So, but probably, I'm encouraging you all to go, and myself as well. It's a very good learning for me as well, to explore further, and probably we can have another session as well. I'm just a bit mindful of time, and we have another full topic left, so I just don't want to squeeze Mansi with the time crunch. But Vanna, really thanks for the presentation and the demo. Very insightful. I have learned a lot. It was always in my list, like lot other things, to come and do this, but I think so with your session today, you have helped me saving a lot of hours. So thanks for that very very, very good presentation and demo. So
Thanks, Sonia.
with that, I'll probably jump to the next topic of today, and would like to invite our next speaker, Mansi. I'm sure Mansi, I'll share the screen. Um, yes. So Mansi is a senior MuleSoft developer at Accenture. She's based out of Mumbai, India, and she has crossed the integration, and she's done various certificate in MuleSoft, and other technologies as well. So with that, Mansi, I'll hand over to you to take us through to your topic. GraphQL, how we can implement with the MuleSoft.
Thank you, Vandan. Thank you, Sonal. So, yes, so GraphQL is not that new term anyhow, and we have some other releases also too, but it's not being used that much. So here we are going to see some basics of GraphQL, and then we will have a small walkthrough using a simple use case. We are going to cover the very well known part, that is API led connectivity in our expertise and challenges while scaling the architecture. And then we will see the GraphQL from implementation perspective. Change the slide. Okay, so I won't go much into the API connectivity, as most of us know that it's where we build most of the usable APIs, and we segregate those as the experience layer, process layer, and the system layer. So for any update, where we would do our most of our changes exactly. So, well, basically in a growing architecture, if there will be any changes come for the business logics, then we mostly do our modifications either in the process layer or the experience layer, unless there's a change in the downstream system. So for example, there's a mobile app and a web app, and the details we display in the web app is much more descriptive as that's in the mobile app. Then what do we do? So we create an experience API specific to the required details, and we will call our downstream system to get the response back. The frequency of change in an enterprise world mostly occur in the experience layer, as we see. So that's what we are trying to portray here. And then what are the changes we will have when there's a growth in architecture, which will lead to the increase in number of APIs. Next slide. uh, let's say we are going to develop more APIs to have a particular functionality, and the data needed for this particular development is segregated across multiple APIs, for which we need to make multiples and consolidate the responses using some logics or transformation to form a single response back to the caller. So this is the kind of common challenge that we see in the API-led architecture with growing enterprise, and the most of it can be addressed using the GraphQL. Next slide. Now, what is GraphQL? It is a API query language which enables the data fetching where a caller can specify exactly what they need from the API. This will help us querying multiple APIs, and we can achieve that from a schema which we will see further. Next slide. So, what it does exactly? First, it will allow us to minimize the multiple API calls. Second, it will reduce the piece of code or logics to consolidate the responses from the multiple APIs. It will actually just do it in the backend and give us a consolidated response as requested by the caller. Third, we can say it allows the caller to choose the fields they are interested in, and thus it cut down the amount of data they receive when they are doing the query, and only concentrating on what they need. Next slide. Okay, so before we go for unified schema, I just want to have a understanding of schema. We work on raml to create the schema and publish it to exchange, and we reuse it. So here we have some specific set of data types that will be validated on server, based on which we would get our responses back from the APIs. If you see here, we have accounts schema, where we have defined some fields, and similarly for other schemas, for example, this balances and transactions. Next slide. Now, what is unified schema? It allows all these schemas to be added into one particular schema. It's a common collection of multiple API schemas where we can where we can manage actually by linking those. If you see, accounts and transaction details are merged in balances, and we can get the data from a single schema. Next slide. Okay, so we have a dedicated router available for GraphQL APIs. First, the client sends a GraphQL operation to the router, and the client has no clue which field belong to which schema. The router looks at the fields in the operation and uses the schema to figure out which schema is responsible for resolving each field. It uses this information to build a query plan, and the query plan specifies the order in which schema needs to run. Then the router assigns the query plan for each schema as per the data needed, and the schemas will send back the requested data to router, which the router then combines all those responses into a single JSON object. And finally, the router sends the final JSON object back to the client and the end of our operation journey. Next slide. Okay, so we have simple use cases here. First use case, I can call it as the segregation of the set of fields that we have, mainly in a single system API. So for example, the accounts system API is having some number of fields, like 10 or 8 number of fields, and the other two clients wants some part of those fields. So we can see here, like the mobile API only need the 4 fields, and the web app may require 5 or 6 fields. So from one system API, we can actually segregate the number of the fields, and we can send the interested fields to the caller. The second use case is actually, I can call it as a aggregation, I can call it as that. In this, we have multiple system API. From there, we can get all the means whatever field they need, and we can send the fields to the client whatever they requested for. So here we have 3 APIs. from which we have multiple fields like 10 for the accounts or 2 for the balances, and the client wants some of the fields from accounts, from balances like 1 or 2 fields, from transaction like 2 of the fields. So the client, we will give the client the fields that he is interested in. Okay, next slide. So if I go into security for the GraphQL, then again we will be calling multiple other APIs, and these APIs should have these security options, as it will be, for example, one of those Cloud Hub deployed APIs. So we know what other policies options we can apply as per our requirement, like we have input validation or client validations. Next slide. So talking about the strength and the limitations of GraphQL, GraphQL will support REST and OAS specifications, which is basically YAML and OAS. Apart from this, this supports these 5 methods. GraphQL allows more flexibility over the data for the caller and compatible with most commonly used technology like JSON. Well, there are some limitations too, as GraphQL will have a single endpoint, which can make the version control or monitoring challenging. And to overcome that, we would need multiple GraphQL APIs, which can be time consuming. Also, we have the REST API from so long, so there are less documentation or robust tools to resolve GraphQL issues. Next slide. Coming to monitoring, we have the same process for monitoring as we have for other APIs. We can monitor the GraphQL from anypoint monitoring or runtime logging, where we can select specific keywords related to the environment or application names. Now we can move to the demo for this one. Maybe I'll share this screen.
I'll stop sharing my.
Okay, I hope my screen is visible. So here I have created. If okay, first we will go for the first use case that I have talked about. That is, we can segregate the fields from a particular API. So if we see here, we have system account system API. We have number of fields here, and this is one of the GraphQL API that we have created. Here we have router, and the other thing is we have field resolver. And in router we have the GraphQL configuration, where we have mentioned the GraphQL schema. Now this GraphQL implementation will only actually depend on this schema. This is the main part of the GraphQL implementation. So here we have defined the fields of the account, and then we were having some 8 to 10 fields there. If I call just 3 fields, it will give us the 3 fields in which we are interested in. If I just add some more field from there, for example ID, it will give that too. But what if I just send some field which is not there in the schema? It will give us the validation expression saying that it is not defined in the account object. Similarly, for the second use case, for example, I'm having multiple system APIs, and if I take this balance one, we have two of the fields here defined. The second use case was like we are having multiple system APIs, and we need to send some particular some fields from the first API and some other fields from the next API to the customer. Now here, I'm just mentioning it, and it is giving the value for the balances. Now, how did we get this value? We are actually defining this also in the schema. This was the key for us, and this is the definition of this API. Now, if I go back, so how we are calling the different APIs. Router we have seen for the field resolver, we are calling the uh, APIs in the particular flows. For account, for balances, we are calling in that way. And for the field resolver configuration, we are again redirecting to the GraphQL configuration. And in the field name, we are actually defining the field that we are targeting to. Here, as we defined account for that, which is this one, so we are mentioning that particular field here. Similarly, for balance, which we defined in the schema here. Similarly, we will do for the transaction also. And then a simple request call to the particular APIs. So yeah, that's it from my end from the demo perspective. If there's any question, let
Yeah,
me.
Mansi. There is a question from Sipra. How will we get the GraphQL schemas? Is this something which stakeholder will share to use, or is this something we have to create by our own? If we have to create by our own, then do we have to publish it anywhere like in Exchange? A very good question, actually. Yeah.
Yes. So this we can create by our own. Obviously, it depends on what the client will need. So if we are calling some API, we can actually means to save our time in future. Obviously, we can define each and every field uh, in our schema. But if there's a constraint like okay, this is what the customer need, then you can normally go ahead with some countable fields. But I would suggest go for each and every field, and yes, we need to create it ourselves, and we don't need to publish it anywhere. It's an API. If we see, it's in particular API, so we don't need to publish it. We have it in I'll just show you where I have created it. So I've just created it in the resources folder. So we don't need to publish it.
Okay, that's great, Mansi. So there is another question from Sipra. Can you please share what all configuration we need to take care while hitting the request via Postman? So you know how you were showing that Postman, and then I also have a question for you. Sorry, I'll
Okay.
ask it later.
So yeah, it's a normal host URL that we have for that particular API, and from the obviously the methods can be anything out of which all five we use, and the GraphQL needs to be selected. It's in query, so yes, we need to send the body from here.
Okay, so it's a query. So, all right. So it seems very interesting the way GraphQL works. How about the schema, Mansi? You know how you have shared the schema. So was it consumed by the system API or was it consumed by the experience API or both?
Is it consumed by the experience API? I would say because the router actually go into the schema, and it will distribute the fields to the particular system APIs. we have seen these steps that the query will go, this query will come to the router, and then it will go to the schema and it will check to which API it actually directed to.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, it would be good where you have kept that file was under the same project and it was under the experience API, or you have created a separate resource folder for it.
This
For
is the same experience API. Uh,
okay. And
yes,
was that resource folder was under this only?
yes, correct.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Okay, so that's, yeah, you have kept it as schema. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's interesting, Mansi. As I said, today's very great session for uh, and Sipra is asking if you can put before and after logger for one example. For one example, I think so. Yes, we can do that easily. I'm just mindful of time as well. So it's a great session, Mansi. Really appreciate that. As I said, there's always a learning for me as well, which I'm really interested, and that's motivate me. And I think so. I want to thank you for taking the time and sharing the content and the demo. Again, good insight. And I really want to thank the whole team as well, whose team is not just the speaker, but the attendees as well. You are part of the team as well. And if you want to, as I said before as well, if you want to get involved, let me know. We are happy to have you guys. And I can probably share the women who, and if you are interested in such topics, or if you're interested to hear more from the women who are in the Mules of community, please contact us. Please register on these. Um, this is the link, Women Who Mule APAC meetup. You can find that. You can find this session's recording as well on YouTube, which we generally put. Or if you want to have any particular question, you can direct your question to me as well on my email ID, which is sonal.b.sharma@capgemini.com. So I would be very happy to hear back from you what you think about the session, how you think the speakers has done, what you want to see more or what you want to see next, in the session, technical, non-technical topic. Please feel free. And if everyone is okay, then as I said before, I would like to give everyone the presenter mode, so that we all can open the camera and we can flaunt our swag. If you guys is fine with that, I'll just uh, whosoever wants to, I'll do it for all. Actually, that would be easy for me. I'll do presenter mode for all. And if you guys want, you guys can open the camera and unmute yourself if you want to say anything for which you were holding your breath for so long. And this is a time for you, um, for networking. And yeah, as I said, this forum is for you guys, and please, yeah, if you want, you can open your camera, and I'll probably stop sharing the screen so that we all can see each other. And I'm not sure, somebody has tried to ask for the presenter mode, but I think I was trying to do something else at that time. So
The painting, yes, I saw that. This was very nice.
oh wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's a painting. Okay, yeah, I'll have my swag as well with me. See, this is Einstein. This is no more my Einstein. It's my baby's Einstein. He just started to play with it. So I don't know what will happen with the generation next.
Mm.
He already choose the Einstein over all his things. So if you
Yes.
guys are happy, I'll probably just do one. Screen share. If Sipra, Akshi, and Sonal want to open your cameras as well, please feel free to do so. And I'll
Vanna,
just
I loved your painting. It's beautiful. You are an artist as well.
multi-talent, I would
Seriously.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
Just a sec, guys.
Thank you, Sonal. Thank you,
Hi,
Vandana.
Sipra.
Thank you, Mansi, for the wonderful session. I'll try to join now each and every time whenever the session will happen. Uh, Once again, I really love to explore this new topics in this session. Thank you.
Thanks, Sipra. Yeah. Hi, Akshay. And as I said, this forum is not just for the women's. Actually, it's for everyone. But we like to encourage women and appreciate women. Um, and because there are various other platforms for for everyone, but this we try to specific, to encourage. And even if you want to see any or want to explore any of the person journey in your career or anything like that, right? So this forum is for that. So hi, Akshay. So
Hi, Sonal.
if you guys
Yeah,
are ready, then do you guys mind if I just if Sonal sing? Oh, you have mine here as well.
Hi,
Okay.
Sonal.
So, okay, so do you want to turn on camera? This is the last chance to be on photo shoot.
I have very poor network. I wanted to,
Okay,
so
that's
I'm
all
not able to. Yeah.
right. That's okay. So, with your cheesy smiles on, guys. One, two, three.
Say cheese.
Thank you. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. And we'll try to make it more interactive. This time we have a lot of content to share, so I'll try to be little bit more uh, quicker. But I guess I enjoyed it. Sipra, Akshay, and Sonal, everyone's means I enjoyed your questions. That makes us going. So thank you all again for your time, and you have a good weekend. It's coming soon. Just one more day, Friday, and yeah, have a Friday, and we'll see you next time. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
Thank
for
you.
setting this up, Sonal. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thanks
Vandana. Thank you,
everyone.
Mansi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.